Hey guys, Sandy here, and today I am playing along with Crystal of Pineapple Papers. She's doing a series about using your paper pads, so I decided to pull out this Oasis paper pad. I think I used a little bit of cut aparts and maybe one or two papers out of here. So I've pulled out these 4 papers. And I'm going to use these for my background, and then I'm going to use this some more. So let's see what I can do. Alright, so this is like the 4th time I've tried to do this voiceover now. And it's getting a little frustrating because it just crashes and then I lose everything that I voiced over. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I like trying to get my voiceovers done in one take, like from start to end, and that gets it done. Because if I sit there and worry too much about the voiceover and how things are progressing and if everything is like perfectly smooth, like, okay, let's be honest, my production value of my videos is not my top priority. Like, if I screw up a word, I'm not worried about it. Like, I don't feel like that has to be perfect, and I'm not going to sit there and retake the voiceover over and over and over again because I keep screwing up a word. I'll usually just laugh at myself and make it go. But honestly, it's getting a little bit frustrating, and I'm definitely going to have to break this one up into multiple voiceovers, which is a pain in my tuchus. And I want to be talking about what I'm doing right now, but instead I'm explaining to you about the voiceover issue. And it's not even just a voiceover issue. My microphone cord is still broken, so hopefully I can get out on my lunch break today at work and find me a new cord for my microphone. So, that being said, let's get to it. Now here, you just saw me flipping through the Oasis 6x6 paper pad, and I pulled out a couple papers. And this is Chamel's box of crayons 6x8 paper pad. And I love this paper pad. I love flipping through it. I love looking at it. Like, it makes me happy. There are so many good usable parts for this. I probably won't use that hand with the finger ribbon tied on it because it's just not my thing. But even the dates where it goes like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on one page and Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday on another one. The Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I use the colored block and the dots as layers. So even though I don't really use it as a planner type thing, I'm getting great use out of it. So I just like it, and I like flipping through it. It makes me happy. So here I am. I felt like my photos here needed a pop of something behind them. Definitely a matte, so I decided to go with this wood grain paper from Echo Park, and it did come in a paper pad, but I don't remember which paper pad it is. It's one of the ones that I've had for a while and did not have a lot left, so I broke it down and put it in my scraps file. And I went with the dark wood grain because it is a deep dark brown, and I did not want to put black on this page. I wanted not to have that huge, dark, stark contrast of black on the page. Couldn't tell you why, other than I just didn't want it this time. Now, I placed the pictures in this particular order with the 2 of us on the left and the close-up on the right, because my original thought was I was going to have embellishment go down over top of the photos. So like where that 5 is in that blank wall space in the photo of her close-up. And if I placed them the other way, her head would have been in the way of the embellishment that I was picturing in my head. So I couldn't have that. Now, as you'll see later, I don't even go that route. Like, it doesn't even happen. But that's the reason why I did the photos the way I did. To me, everybody's looking out at the page, like at you. So I felt like I could have put the photos in any direction I want it to, really. So I have these pieces of the 6x6 paper pad, and I'm just putting them down and layering them up a little bit. And then I found this one where it has 3 bands of stripes, and I cut off the green and white band and decided to cheat so that it would stretch across the page. And that is a beautiful, beautiful thing about 6x6 paper pads. So they have smaller scale designs on them, which is wonderful, especially when you're using them in a 6x8 album like a December daily. So I'm kind of getting off my point, but I love a 6x6 paper pad for December daily. In my 2016, I almost used a complete 6x6 paper pad in that album because the scale of everything was just perfect. And had I had the 12x12 sheet with those stripes on it, the scale would have been way too big for this page. And so I'm happy to have the smaller scale stripes, and I'm even happier that I can kind of cheat and cut it in half and tuck it behind the layer so you think that that's an almost a 12-inch strip of paper. However, it's only 6 inches. Like, you can't tell underneath of the layers, which is a beautiful thing to use 6x6 paper pads for. Now I'm checking out my washi strips because I'm thinking I need something. And that one was Jen Hadfield, and this one is Paige Evans. And I loved the floral right here. Like, it picked up a lot of the colors, the yellow, the pink, the teal, the darker ones. And I was going to totally use it, but it's translucent and it's scalloped. And I did not want to take the time to back it and cut it out. I just didn't want to do it. So what I decided to do instead was go for these gossamer blue ones, and these are all just straight rectangle washies. And this wood grain right here, I just really liked it. And instead of backing this washi tape with white, which is normally what I do if I'm going to back a washi tape or a washi sticker, because I want something white and bright behind it so you can truly see all the details of the washi. However, this time I backed the wood grain with a wood grain, and that was because I wanted it to be a little bit more muted. I didn't want like you to be able to see the bright lines of the wood grain. I just wanted it to be muted. So it worked out great in my opinion. I'm using this packaging here just to make sure that I have a straight line. And then I went ahead and I'm going to use this extra little bit for the top. Now, as you can see, at first I was like, oh yeah, right over here where I can build that embellishment. And then I decided it really wasn't what I wanted to do. I wanted to build the embellishment over here. And I'm okay with that. So my original idea of covering up that 5 and the other big blank spot in the photo isn't going to happen. But I do feel like I need to add something up there to the top. So what I do is grab this yellow tag. Now it does say sun and it has some numbers on it. However, those are not important to me. I'm not going to use those at all. What I am going to do is tuck this tag underneath up here. And I'm going to do this for 2 reasons. 1, because I need the yellow on the side of the page. And 2, because I just wanted something with a little bit of fun over here. And I had to cover up the words that I was not going to use. Now, the photo, the walls in the room have a very yellowish tinge to them. And that is because of the lighting that was in the hospital. And I'm also wearing a yellow shirt, which pretty much matches the yellow in the page here. And now I've got like this line of yellow on the left-hand side, so I have to bring it over to the right. And the tag is going to be the start of that. Now, I really liked the color effect from the dark to the light, where on that summer cut apart, but I need to cover up the center because it's definitely not summer. Or it was almost summer, I should say, but summer isn't the focus of this layout. Summer is definitely not the focus of a layout when you're cooped up in a hospital waiting to send your daughter in for surgery. So, now this, a little tangent, I love labels. Labels are fun. You can do all kinds of stuff with them. You can text, like have your text on them for journaling. You could have dates on them. You could just decorate them with stickers. You can watercolor them. You can layer them up and make handmade embellishments. Like, you can do all kinds of stuff with labels. And I love that label sticker sheet that's sitting there on top of my layout. It's from Webster's Pages, and I pulled it out because I thought it would be perfect match color-wise. And it does. It looks good. Like, that looks good with the layout. But I don't use it, and I don't know why. I've pulled it out a couple times for a couple different layouts, and I never end up using it. And I don't think I'm subconsciously hoarding it. At least I don't think I am. I just think I always find something a little bit better, which is a travesty because look at those labels. They're so pretty. Now, LA Studio makes a nice label as well, even if they are cut apart and you have to add your own adhesive. So not this last big sale that she had, but the time before that, I bought a ton of labels, a ton of them for pennies, for mere pennies. And it was fantastic because her colors are great. I love LA Studio's colors. So we'll get that down. And here is where I was trying to bring some more yellow in, and I decided, no, maybe this one will work. But that one didn't really go either, and back onto the page it goes. Back onto the page it goes. There we go. So I set that to the side, thinking I might still do something with it, but I don't. It kind of just stays over there and nothing is done with it. I'm flipping through the paper pad one more time, and I stop at the circles because I think I'm going to punch them out and create some embellishments, but I decide not to do that. And I'm not exactly sure why I decide not to do that, other than I don't really have a lot of circles going on the page, except for over here in the top left corner. And I kind of like it as the, bam, here are some circles. But that kind of goes out the door later, as you'll see. Now these puffy border stickers are from Freckled Fawn, and I've used so many of them and just have these hearts left. So I decided that this would be perfect for this page, and these puffy stickers, you can definitely tell that they've been cut, but hopefully I've cut them in a way that when you're just looking at the layout, or maybe you're flipping through my book and seeing the memories from this year, you're not going to be like, holy crap, that girl cut apart those hearts. Like, hopefully I've done that, covered that little bit up enough. Now, here I am, and I really was going, like, this is where those hearts were going to go, but I decided, since all the other hearts were over top of the wood grain washi, I should probably put these hearts there as well. So, I don't know. So this is definitely a triangle design principle layout, where there's a triangle of 3 different embellishments around the photos. Now, I'm not following all the design principles of a triangle embellishment thing, because if I did, I would have the largest embellishments, and the smallest have the smallest embellishments, but I don't really do that. I kind of do my own thing. And here's another place where I'm doing my own thing. I have these metal brads from the Paper Studio that I got at Hobby Lobby, and I break off the tines, and then I realize that just breaking off the tines isn't enough. There's still like a hunk of metal back there. So I grab my little wire, basically I call them wire cutters. It's basically what they are. And rip off some more of that hunky metal on the back. Then I throw some dots, or some zots, on the back of there, and it gives me a good, like, solid adhesive that I can adhere these metal bits to the paper. And I only put them on the 2 bottom parts, 2 bottom embellishment areas, not at the top. And I could say it's because I don't want that heaviness at the top of the layout, but in all actuality, it's because I only have 2 of them, and I'm okay with just putting 2 of them on the page. I probably wouldn't have done one at the top and like one at the side, unless I was going for a really vertical heavy embellishment clusters, but I did decide to put them both on the bottom because they are a little bit heavier. Now here is like those metal things, and then I'm popping off the epoxy things off of these brads, and here's where I'm bringing in the circles. So I thought I was just going to have these great circles over here on the left, and that was going to be it. That was going to be like my bam, pow circles, but I add circles. Not in the way I had originally thought, but they are being added. And this is one thing I like to do with these brads, and these are from My Mind's Eye, and that's just pop the little epoxy or enamel bit off of them and go ahead and just place them on the page. And here, this little pink guy, I ended up placing him between the two V's of the hearts, and that makes me super happy. So I really love tucking and nestling things and finding little places to like squeeze that little guy right in there. Like that, just, I really enjoy that. So having that little guy there had nothing to do with design. It had everything to do with I just get joy out of tucking little things in. Now these little puffy stickers are from Gossamer Blue, and I only had 2 of the cameras, so again, I'm only putting 2 of them down. I thought about using this pearlized word thing as part of a title, but it didn't go with what I had. I felt like my title needed to be a little bit more bold, a little bit more in your face than that pearl, because those pearls would have definitely faded into the background. So I went through my stickers and I just pulled out some stickers that I thought would go color-wise. And this is the Maggie Holmes Carousel thicker sheet. And this is the second one I have because I've used so much of the first one. And I did not purposely buy 2 of them. I actually bought one and then received one from a kit club. So I'm okay with that because there's a lot of usable bits on here. Like, it's not crazy themed or anything. These aren't, at least. Some of the other stickers are. Some of the other carousel stickers really are. So I decided to go with moments, and then I'm going to add letter stickers to add before because it is moments before surgery. But when I was flipping through the stickers, originally I had thought I was going to use those yellow "so sweet" words just to bring a little bit more yellow to the page. But like I said, that isn't what I did. And then I went for this bow that has some yellow on it, and I cut off the little hang downs off the bow. I cut off the little hangy parts of the bow and decided to tuck them under the metal circle so that it's kind of like a first place ribbon. And I'm not exactly thrilled with what it's doing right now, so I'm thinking about changing it up while I'm messing with the top of the bow. And I just decided to put the top of the bow on top of the tag instead of using some twine or something like that up there. So now I'm just messing around and putting the little bits back where they belong. And then I pull out this You and Me sticker, and I'm thinking this is good. It's bringing yellow again over to this side. And then for some reason I decide that I needed more yellow on top of the yellow. But once I get it down there, I realize that that heart really just blends in to that background like a whole bunch. It's just there. You can't really even tell that it's a heart anymore because it's blended in so much. So I decide to take that off, and then I'm thinking about moving the You and Me over to the left so that it's actually covering up the photo of You and Me. But once I get it there, I decide that that's not really where I want it, and I decide to bring it back over to the right-hand side of the page just to add a little bit more weight to the yellow that is on that side of the page, because it is still very left heavy for the yellow. So I do the little bow hangy bits, and they're going off to the side now instead of straight up and down, and I like that. And then I'm just moving some things around, and for some reason I don't put that pink enamel dot back over on that side, and I'm not exactly sure why I don't do it. I'm not sure. So here I am using these chipboard pluses, and I'm just having them kind of zigzag up the page, and I'm going to do that in 3 spots. And I just like the way that they look. There's no other reason than I like them. So I go ahead and I get them placed down, and I'm happy with how they look. And then I think that I'm going to try to use this one because it's such a good match for that indigo color paper that I have beneath the photos, but it doesn't really fit. It doesn't really go. But what I do decide to do is this little like aqua piece, and I just layer it up there by the tag, and it's just something subtle. It's not like drawing huge attention to anything, but it just adds a little bit of extra texture and a little bit of extra layers, and I just like that little bit of extra. It's what makes me happy. So I pull out my tiny little letter stickers and use these from Recollections. I'm not exactly sure which collection they're from. I got them a while ago and I got them on clearance, so I'm just putting down the word before, and it is moments before. It is right when they were getting ready to wheel her back, and right after they had given her a shot of the relaxation medicine, as they called it, into her IV before they would actually knock her out when she got into the surgery room. So now I'm just trying to figure out what else I'm going to do here, and I decide to go for some enamel dots, and these also came from Freckled Fawn. And I decide to put the teal ones on top of the teal, and then I'm going to put the white ones on top of the white. And I don't really have yellow ones that will match, but I also don't have a lot of pink over here over top of the yellow 6x6 paper pad, so I just decide to go for it and put the pink ones over there. And I'm totally okay with that. And I'm getting close, I believe, to the point where my video recording just dies on me. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this here and not have a complete one-take voiceover so that I don't lose all of these minutes, and I will be right back. Okay, let's see if this will kind of trick the iMovie software into not crashing on me. Now I'm thinking about using some of my roller stamps here, and I specifically find the one that says date, and I think about putting it there, and I don't even know why I stamped it because there's literally no ink, but I decided not to go forward with that and just write her name on the label. And then I'm just going to go ahead and write my journaling up here on the 6x6 paper pad. And I fill in the date and the surgery center and a bunch of journaling, and that I think is going to do it. And surprisingly, my software did not crash, so that's super duper exciting. And I did not lose all of those minutes of voicing over, because honestly, I think I would have just given up and not shared this video if it would have done it to me one more time. And for some reason, I'm adding a little bit of gold Heidi Swapp Color Shine, and then I'm going to show you a close-up, and that's going to be it, guys. Thanks so much for sticking with me, and I will see you soon.